Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk. It's brought to you by Detroit Lions on the Prowl and the Belly Up Sports Network. Today, we're going to go into Jared Goff. Could he possibly be the solution in Detroit? But first, let me bring in one of my co-hosts, the man of steel himself, Curt Steele.
What up, though? Welcome to the show, people. You know who we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl, baby. You're home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. You know, we got your main course. We got your comment cards. We got the question of the day. We got Detroit Lions on the Prowl trivia. And we got dessert with your man, Curt. But first, let me get to the third man of the team. Who?
Mike Jones. Who? Coach Mike Jones. What's going on, Lion fans?
Let's get this thing started.
Right now.
Let go.
It's Detroit Lions talk, baby.
We're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yes, sir. We in the deep. Hey, welcome back to the show, people. Today, we're going to talk about the man, the myth, the legend. I don't know. It's Jared Goff. Jim, what you got on the young fella?
He's only 26 years old, which is a big upside for me. He's like a Jekyll and Hyde person to me. He really is. I watched him all the way since high school. And it's funny because his arm talent, people say, oh, you know, he doesn't have the arm talent. He can throw the deep ball. He can make all the throws. He does have arm talent. Totally does. It's his mind that I question. You know, it's his ability to read defenses and hold on to the ball a little bit too long. I think with the offensive line, he's going to be really good. And I think with the way that they're going to do the offense this year, I think he could really thrive in this offense. So can he be the solution at quarterback? After I went through all of that and I went through all the footage that I could find on him, I'll tell you what, I think that he's going to be a stopgap 2-year guy with a potential of being our franchise quarterback. A potential. I don't think he's going to do it. I think we are going to draft a quarterback. But I think they're going to give him every opportunity to be that. And I know that sounds like, oh, that's what everybody else is saying, but that is actually what I see. It really is what I see.
Yeah. Now, I talked to a friend of mine. His name is Joe Branham. He's been on the show before. The Sheriff Joe Bags over there at Rams Showcase. And he likes Jared Goff. A lot of Rams fans were a little upset that, you know, they kind of just cut bait on him. So did he have some issues? Yes. Is it more issues than any other quarterback has had? Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? So some of the same issues he's had, or some of the same complaints that some Rams fans had about him, is what Lions fans had about Matthew Stafford. Does he have arm talent? Yes, he can make throws. He grew up passing the ball, grew up in the spread. So most of the time, you know what I'm saying, he's throwing the ball. His arm velocity, the velocity of the ball doesn't come out as fast as Matthew Stafford. Well, Matthew Stafford played baseball. So, you know, a lot of those guys that have that baseball background have a little bit more velocity on their throws. It's just a proven fact, just because of the fact they have to throw that baseball so hard to get it going where it needs to go. But Matthew Stafford his arm talent is an anomaly in the NFL. There's not a lot of guys with that can throw the ball as hard and as fast as Stafford. So you can't compare Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford. If you give him his tools to succeed, that guy can play. I mean, the guy made a Super Bowl. I mean, we've seen him light it up around the league. You know, we talked about some of the games he's had, especially that Monday night game between the Chiefs and the Rams. I mean, and then the game he had with 5 touchdowns. So the guy can throw the ball. I mean, if you put him in the right situations, and I really trust Anthony Lynn to do that. I mean, the guy is a offensive wizard. The guy, if he wants to do a run-heavy team, he can do that. If he wants to do a pass-heavy team, he can do that. So he's not handcuffed by what's going on or by a certain system. But I like to see I would like to see what's going to happen in the season. Now, some of the guys on the Lions have already spoke out about Jared Goff. They say he's a great dude. They've worked out with him, caught passes from him. So, and they say just off the field, he's just a good dude. So, I mean, we'll see. But a lot of Lions fans aren't convinced because of the Stafford thing. What you got, Mike?
I mean, the thing is that's really the first thing is Anthony Lynn helped Justin Herbert to become, what he was, and his offensive system made that happen. Because if Justin Herbert would have went to a different system, like a spread type of system, he wouldn't have thrived at all. So it first starts with the system. Then two, Jared Goff can make the throws. Jared Goff is a good quarterback as long as he's in that run first system. Okay, as long as he's in that West Coast offense system, Jared Goff can make all the throws. He can do everything that you need him to do. No, he's not throwing the heater fastball, Matt Stafford, but where he doesn't throw that heater fastball is made up for his ball placement. His down the field ball placement is better than Stafford. Now his arm strength and the way he can rifle in there, he can rifle in there, but he can't do it like Stafford can. He can't change the trajectory and go all the way to the left and throw it all the way to the right side arm and rifle it in. He can't do that, but he has a gun. And I think the system that Anthony Lynn wants to run will fit him. I think we will draft a quarterback regardless. It just will depend on how Jared Goff does, whether we do it early in the draft or later in the draft. So it might be a backup that we could develop, and it may be, hey, he's pretty good, and maybe we'll trade him, or maybe he'll just be a backup. Or if Jared Goff blows it, then it'll be a guy that, hey, we got to reach in the first, second round and get one. So it just depends on Goff.
Yeah, I think one more thing on this. It's Stafford, you were mentioning he has a gun. The problem with that is a lot of the people that we brought in had a very good catch to drop ratio. And so I'm talking about like Golden Tate, people like that we brought in that dropped very few passes, but when he got here, dropped a lot more passes because of the gun. I think there's a lot of times, especially in short yardage situations, that Stafford overthrew and was hurting guys' fingers. You look at Calvin Johnson's fingers. He broke Darius Slay's fingers in practice. So I think that Goff may actually increase the catch rate of some of our guys rather than decrease.
Yeah, he has a more catchable ball. I would agree with that, because they don't have to. It's not a hard brace, and they catch the ball. It's not getting there with that much velocity. And we'll see, how it affects like Quintez Cephas, guys who have played with Stafford, TJ Hawkinson. How does that affect his catch? But I would say, to Hawkinson's defense, he pretty much caught a lot of passes from Matthew Stafford. I mean, I just think that he just made an adjustment. So, you're professionals. You have to adjust to the quarterback that you have. But I agree with that. I think that was the problem with Quintez Cephas early in the season last year, where he just wasn't, used to, catching balls, even though, practice, because you got to think about it, where he was on the depth chart his rookie season, he wasn't a starter. And then all of a sudden you have injuries and he's in the starting lineup with Kenny Golladay being down. So he's forced to kind of just go in there and play, and he's not used to catching the ball from Matthew Stafford. And he got a case of the drops. He's not used to that because his college quarterback had a noodle arm. I mean, they weren't known for throwing the ball up at Wisconsin. So, he wasn't used to catching that fastball from Matthew Stafford, especially playing with the backups Chase Daniel and David Blau, in practice, running with the scout teams and stuff like that. So, I'm interested to see, Goff, saying there's always kind of some kind of lore with people when they come from different teams. And, especially when you trade first overall picks in the draft. I mean, how often does that happen when you trade a number one overall quarterback with another one?
Right.
That just doesn't happen that often. A younger one.
Yeah. That's the argument in LA is that, hey, we got a guy that's 33 years old that has had some injuries. Yeah. And we just gave up a 26-year-old guy that basically the numbers in the last few years are pretty comparable.
Yeah. So, they say some guys said we just got an older Goff. I've heard that from Rams fans. We just got an older Goff. I'm like, I don't know about that one.
He's third. And I think it was wins, QB wins.
Since he's been in the league, Jared Goff, yeah. I mean,
so, And that defense, the thing is, that defense wasn't always that defense.
Yeah,
so,
when he first
know,
got there, it wasn't.
yeah, it wasn't. It
Yeah, but
wasn't
then
at
he had
all.
that running game though. When he didn't have that defense, he had an outstanding running game.
He did, but if you can, some quarterbacks have all of that and they still don't do nothing. Blaine Gabbert, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? You got a running game, defense. The guy before, the guy in Buffalo, he had a defense, running game. He couldn't do nothing. So I mean, it's not all about that. Sometimes quarterbacks just know how to play with that system, and it's the right fit, and they're making the right fit. So that's why I think that we'll actually draft a backup quarterback. I don't think that he's going to fall off that much because he'll be 27 at the start of the season. I just don't think he'll fall off that much.
And he has a quiet but nasty disposition right now. He's got a chip on his shoulder. If you heard his introductory press conference, he's got a little chip. He's a little agitated because a lot of people are blaming him or things that Sean McVay said. You know what I'm saying, that kind of like. And first it was under Sean McVay's breath, and then all of a sudden it's just in the media where he just stopped saying it under his breath and just started saying it overtly. Well, it's his problem. He's the reason why we didn't. He didn't do them throws. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Well, he's like, well, hell, shit, I got you to the Super Bowl. What else can I do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So. And then there was the other rumors, but we won't get into that about him and Sean. Him and the other reason people try to say that he got traded from
LA,
from the Rams. From the Rams, it was a little TMZ-ish.
One more thing for the fans to remember: the last quarterback that won a playoff game for us was Eric Kramer.
Yeah.
I don't think he had as much talent as Goff. Quite honest.
Right.
But he had that roster, boy. That squad was deep.
Yeah.
Boy,
the one
that
thing
was deep.
About
that was the deep squad.
Jared Goff. I mean, I know Lion fans don't want to hear this, but Jared Goff did more for LA than Matt Stafford did for Detroit. So
with a better team.
We had a better team too, though.
I mean, I'm just saying.
But we got the But the thing that I like is that the guy who helped build the team for Jared Goff is the main man building the team in Detroit. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's going to work out good. Let's go to the Detroit Lions news and rumors now, and it's nice to see us in the national spotlight once again. Tom Hardy, he's wearing the Detroit Lions jacket in the new Venom trailer. Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Eddie Brock is sporting the Detroit Lions leather jacket. It looks really good on him. What do you think, Curt?
Yeah, I saw the movie trailer, man. I'm like, look. But that jacket, I think it's the updated version of the Beverly Hills Cop jacket. We've seen Jared Goff wear it. So that's an iconic jacket now. I mean, Eddie Murphy, that is an iconic movie wardrobe piece with that jacket. And it's just one of those things where I'm gonna have to break down one day and spend a little cheddar and get myself one over on Fanatics. Because it's just a classic Detroit Lions look. If you're a Lions fan, that's one of those things you got to, one day when you get enough paper to add that to your wardrobe, because it just fits. You know what I'm saying? You can wear it with anything, and just see that in the movie. Hopefully, if we can get Venom on the offensive line next to Penei Sewell, that will be good.
Yeah, that would be cool. What do you think, Mike?
I seen the trailer, and I think it's overdue. You always see many cities, many different teams. You never see anybody doing sporting the Lions, like, ever. So it's just glad to see that somebody's sporting the Lions, and maybe there's a backstory. Maybe he had experience in Detroit, or maybe one of his family members had experience in Detroit or something like that. Maybe there's a backstory to it. So, it might come out sometime.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to see that. We were talking about Jared Goff, and we're talking about, and Curt was saying something that absolutely makes perfect sense, that Brad Holmes is the guy creating all this. There was some solid trade down offers when we were on the clock to draft Penei Sewell. but Brad Holmes said he knew he had his guy, and
Yeah.
to turn down, trading down, and settling for other people that you think, okay, this guy, we could get a couple picks here and we can get something else, but we're sold on our guy, you know, and to stand your ground and say, I'm sold on my guy, I'm going to take my guy, takes some guts. It takes some guts, because you could be looking at later on saying, okay, you could have had this guy, you know, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants to build this team like. And I give him a lot of credit for standing his ground. What do you think about that, Mike?
You know what? I like it. I was questioning, I questioned it at first, but the fit, it was the fit and the attitude. And you know what? I just don't think I would have seen that same excitement from Tevin or from Mayfield or from whoever. I just think that the excitement, I'm in the D, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the want to play is sold me, man. Like, and it wasn't about the player, it was about the value of the pick and what we could get for that. But when you think about that, and then you look at his reaction and the intangibles, how happy the coaching staff was, how happy Brad Holmes was, how happy Dan Campbell was. I mean, it's like, man, you know what? Sometimes, man, you gotta just go with the sure thing instead of trying to, get all the extras that come with it. So I'm happy with it. I'm I'm very happy. I'm excited with it. So,
you look at that excitement, the exuberance in that draft war room when Penei Sewell just fell to them at number 7, and I wouldn't have traded back. That was the one guy I was like, if he's on the board, you don't trade back. If he's not on the board, I can see the Lions trading back, just because of the fact that that isn't the number one, because you could have traded back and got Rashawn Slater, you know what I'm saying? And he would have still been on the board. But Penei Sewell, man, that's just, Christmas came early for the Lions with that pick, you know what I'm saying? And, speaking of, Dan Campbell said he plays nasty and dirty. And when he said dirty, he wasn't talking about outside the rules, but he just has a nasty grind, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna man, I would hate to be a defensive back if he's pulling coming towards me, man, because I've seen it plenty of times. I've trust me, I laid some, man, that one of those big offensive linemen come pull, and you are 195-pound defensive back, and that guy 330. Boy, you got problems. Yeah. Look, trouble's coming. I like the fact that those, like Brad Holmes, really stuck to his guns and made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we're going to do. And like I said, I wasn't surprised that they really kind of stuck to the game plan. They didn't do a lot of movement up and down the board just in that 4th round to make sure we got up and got Derek Barnes. But other than that, they kind of just stuck to what their game plan was. They saw their draft board, guys were on the board, they knew who they wanted, and they went out there and got it. So, shout out to Brad Holmes for sticking to his guns, especially being a first-time GM. Sometimes those guys step outside of themselves and, try to make a big splash. But Brad Holmes stuck to his guns. And I think with that brain trust in the room really helped him, stay grounded, you know what I'm saying? And then I just hopefully, you know what I'm saying, all the people in that draft room got some medical treatment after the pick for Penei Sewell, because it was like WWE Royal Rumble, that thing, you know what I'm saying? All the hugging, and I think Chris Spielman had to go see the trainer afterwards.
Yeah, I think so. Somebody did. Yeah. All right, another article, and because we brought this up on the show here, Amon Ra St. Brown, I'll get it right eventually. Here's what Michael Middlehurst Schwartz wrote for the USA Today, that he is the wide receiver chosen as an instant impact rookie. And we said that on this show, too, that he was going to make an instant impact here and start at the slot. What do you got about this, Curt?
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. I mean, the kid, I mean, when you just sit at home and for fun, you just catch balls out the jug machines in the garage. I mean, and that's close because it's inside the garage and he's inside the garage with the machine. So that's close. I mean, like, so this kid, I mean, he works out ridiculously all the time. And I just think that his route running skills combined with his hands and his knowledge of the position, you know, kind of just growing up playing the position and having brothers that play the position as well. I mean, that's what he grew up, you know, saying a receiver. You know what I'm saying? When he grew up, you know, there's people who come in, you know, they kind of switch to receiver or, you know, they, you know, kind of switch in college or something like that. But this guy grew up a receiver, you know what I'm saying? From the smallest age to, you know, where he is now. So it's in his DNA. I mean, I just think he's going to come in and I think he's going to set the NFC North on fire.
I agree. What you got on him, Mike? What do you think?
Yeah, I like Amon because he's an inside outside guy. He's a guy who can line up to multiple spots and do multiple things, and he's a good route runner. You know, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the fact that his hands are good, like extremely good. So I just think he could be possibly the most impactful rookie. You know, it just depends on how we use him, how much, you know, what's our run to pass ratio. I think that'll tell a lot because, you know, in LA they spread it around. You know, they 4 targets, man, they spread it around. So you know, it just depends on how much they spread it around and how much they utilize and focus on one guy, which I just don't think he will get as much because of Hawkinson, because Terrell is a burner on the outside, because Perriman's a burner on the outside. So I think there'll be a shared group of targets, but he will definitely stick out this year.
All right, to close out news and rumors, got a couple fun topics, and it says, who is the Lions rookie most likely to bite kneecaps? You know, Fanside had said it was Levi Onwuzurike.
Yep.
That dude, he said he want to F somebody up. So I ain't mad at him at all.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at him at all. Hey, if you want to come and mess somebody up, go ahead, dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, just make sure that the guys in an announcer booth, you know, make sure they, you know, say your name right when they do it. You know.
And the other one here, Tim Tebow, 9 years out of the NFL, is expected in a couple of weeks to get a 1-year deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars, not at quarterback, at tight end. This dude just never quits, man.
He just wants to go back and play for Urban Meyer. That's all it is.
Yep.
He wants to go back and play for him.
That was the coach in Florida.
Now, I will say this. Now, I admire the guy that he is. He's a very good guy. He's a stand-up dude. Sit your ass down.
He's been trying to play baseball for the last few years.
You ain't playing baseball no more. Dude, sit down.
He gets a contract. He doesn't make the team. That's my prediction.
Sit.
He's 33.
Go back to the booth. Go back to the SEC network. Do your comments because he's a good commentator.
He is.
He's a good commentator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But here's my advice to Tim Tebow. Have a seat. There you go.
You better talk to Tony Romo. He know when to go out.
Yeah. You know what?
Down.
He did.
Yes.
I'll give him that. All right, guys, let's march over to the Wall of Fame and see what we got going on today. We have a new member of the Wall of Fame today. And Curt, who do you got on the entire Wall of Fame?
All right, we got our bronze members, baby. Detroit Drew, Midwest Lion, Bubba Bo, John Kapler, Detroit Lions Talk with Micro Mike, Zub Z, Trap City Boys Entertainment, our Allen, Crystal Wiley, Steve Castillo, Batman of the 313, and we have John Martin, who is the new member of the Bronze Crew. And definitely you're going to have the Latino Lion to round out our bronze members. Silver members, we have Nomis J, Jason Portis, Cap Ice Cold, and Go Lions. And for our gold members, top tier, baby, Bob Corso, North End Ken, just in the D, Miles Gibbs, Larry McQuiston, Randall Flag 606. Man, I just love his takes. Randall Prince, the Gridiron Blitz, and you know who it is, the Doctor. Dr. Detroit is always in. For more information about becoming a member of the Wall of Fame, Click the Join Now button down in the description to get some information on how you can become a member of the Wall of Fame and get those special emojis and all the benefits that come with becoming a member of the Wall of Fame.
Next, we got Detroit Lions on the Prowl Trivia. This is on Facebook and Twitter. And the question today is, and that was actually yesterday, what rock band is Dan Campbell most famously known to be a fan of? I know you guys both know this.
It's easy. This is easy, baby. It's Metallica. It is Metallica. It is Metallica. People, Mike, you didn't get that one?
No, that's who I was gonna pick. I didn't know, but I'm like relating, like who's gonna relate to Dan Campbell the most? You know what I'm saying? His attitude. I'm like Metallica.
Because they were trying to because it was like MCDC and like with ACDC, but now he was like, he said he likes ACDC, but he was more of a Metallica fan.
Yes, he did.
So I believe he said his favorite album was the Black Album. So shout out to Dan Campbell and Metallica. You know what I'm saying? Hey, your boy Curt rocks with a lot of different music, so don't pigeonhole it, brother.
Hey, the winners today were on Facebook, Leo Brown, Bad Leo Brown, and Chad Stretch Armstrong on Twitter. So those were our winners today. And you could be a part of Detroit Lions on the Prowl Trivia on Facebook and Twitter. The first person to answer the question gets to be the winner. So we've done all that. And boy, what a show we've had so far. The question of the day today, before we get into that question, we're going to do comment cards because I misread the whole thing here. I told you, it is Glitch Tuesday. Let me tell you, man.
Tuesday.
Glitch?
I just glitched. All right. Eric Demerit. That's funny. It rhymes. Damn, Jim is tough. Cornell has been here one season with one injury and he's ready to call him injury prone and dump him. That's one hard-ass GM style right there. It isn't. It isn't. It is an old regime guy who couldn't stay healthy, that they've just got drafted 2 defensive tackles. He can play end, so I'm not sure. And he was good at Ohio State, but my problem is I don't think he fits, and I think he'll be a casualty in camp. I do.
He gone. All right.
Curt just don't make no bones about it. He gone.
Terry Smith says, do you see Aleem McNeil in the offensive backfield in short yardage situation a la the fridge? I would definitely hope so. I like that idea.
I do see that. And I call him mini fridge, actually.
And he's fast. He's pretty fast. So it won't be no waste of movement, definitely, with that dude. I mean, he's going to bowl some people over. I would like to see that down at the goal line.
We got a nickname. We got a couple nicknames for him. It could be the dorm fridge. It could be the mini fridge. Refrigerator Perry, for those that don't know, played for the Chicago Bears and did run on certain situations, goal line situations, and scored touchdowns. I can see him doing it. He's a former running back.
Yeah,
it just fits perfectly.
Yeah, he scored one in the Super Bowl too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did against the Patriots.
He did too. Yep.
Wow. MJM24 says, love watching the show, guys. But I got one question. Who wins the NFC North if Rodgers does not play for Green Bay?
What a good question.
You know what? If Rodgers doesn't play for Green Bay, you're going to see the NFC North similar to the NFC East last year, where I don't think that a team with maybe 9-8 wins a division. Maybe 8-9 wins the division. If that happens, I do think we will have a scenario like the NFC East had last year.
But who wins it?
The Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I think Minnesota as well. That's my thought.
Because they have a lot more in place already.
But why not us? What if we had a few breaks go our way and Goff plays a little bit better than we thought, and our running game is really good, our defense plays a little better than we thought? Do you have a chance if Aaron Rodgers is out of the division?
I mean, yeah, we always got a chance. Every team has a chance. Every team has a chance. So
everybody got
not everybody.
Chance.
I don't think the Bears have a chance. Just letting you know.
They can with them 52 tight ends they got over there. Somebody can
that's
do
true.
something.
That's true.
That's definitely all the tight ends. All of the tight ends.
You guys are amazingly funny.
All
Leonard McCullough says, It's just a small sample, but anyone noticed the new regime said Ragnow's extension was a priority, and boom, super quick it was done. The old regime seems to like anytime they were in talks, they always went into the season and stalled, and then they would resume after the season. It took forever for them to make a decision on some things. I totally agree with this. I think this regime is very much more transparent, and they wanted Ragnow done. They got it done, but they got it done for like 11 mil per year. That is really, really cheap for probably the best center in the league coming up.
Yes.
Oh man, that priority, man. Because you know what? It was always something with them dudes. It was always something.
Wasn't it though?
It was always something.
Always.
Hey man, we want Frank right now to be here forever. Well, you didn't like it with the talks. You're not. What do you come to the table with? You know what I'm saying? Right. And it was always something with those guys telling people that they were going to ruin their careers and all that. I mean, you know what? Never mind. We gotta keep it going.
Thank God they gone.
Yeah. Big West Kevin says, pick a Nick. Bowden or Williams are next to go.
Bowden.
I live in the South, and there's a word that they use down here. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about two people, both of them. This is one word, both of them. So that's Nick Williams, Nick Bowden. Who's next to go? Both of them.
I'm going off the rails here, guys. I think it's Nick Williams. I think Nick Bowden makes the team.
You know what? I like Jason Kabinda though.
You know what? But Kabinda was an old regime guy. So,
but he's actually a linebacker.
Right. Exactly.
And Nick Bowden is if he can stay healthy, that guy's a pretty good fullback. And they like fullbacks in this offense.
All right.
So
the only problem with him, he stays hurt. He stays, man. He is
him and Deshaun Hand hang out.
He is the Deshaun Hand and Austin Bryant and Cornell. They all hang out in the injured players club. Yeah. So they.
Man, how much of that was they were actually that hurt? How much of it was just the incompetence of our old regime? We will find that out.
That is an interesting take, Mike. Because incompetence was running rampant through Allen Park last season.
They had a lot of people that was injured last year, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the regime or not, but Mike, you bring up a really good point. They may not have wanted to play.
You know what though? Because some people was like, I ain't paying for that. I mean, I ain't paying because here's the deal. Some people you'll run through a wall with and you'll put your neck out just because you have that respect and that for that person, you know what I'm saying, just because that person's a leader and you'll run through a wall for them no matter what, you know what I'm saying. You'll drag yourself kicking and screaming. But them cats, man, shoot, I wouldn't even sprint to the water bucket to get them a cup of water.
Exactly.
Man, a cup of water, man.
They're on fire. I ain't pissing on them to put them out. Is basically what it was.
Be like, hey, Kurt, it took you 2 hours to get the water. My bad, dog. See what happened was
I pulled my hamstring.
Long way around.
I pulled my hamstring.
Telling you, man, I just think that's what it was because Baldwin is just he's a better player than what they gave him credit for. They had Kabinda in here and they had their mindset. So
I think that's why he's still on the roster. I would think they want to take a look at him because they do emphasize the fullback in this in this offense. It's a weird thing. Yeah. All right, Mike, what you got last up in
Ronan 99 says, will we see the headline Goff goes off? And he has like a little emoji with the side face. And the thing, you know what? Let me address this because I be seeing this so much around Lions Nation. They just act like we got a charity case at quarterback. And Goff is gonna go off week 1. Okay, week 1, Jared Goff is gonna go off. And it just makes me so upset that as a Lions fan base, we were so all in on Matt Stafford. And then we have a more accomplished guy in the postseason and we just like, oh man, we got Jared Goff. Like, Man, Jared Goff.
Can Jared Goff go off? Yes.
Yeah,
Minnesota
he
game,
can.
he threw for 5 touchdowns in that Minnesota
Yeah,
game.
he can, man.
But the thing is, when you talk about Stafford, and I'm a Stafford backer, I always will be. But the thing is that you're missing is Jared Goff had a team behind him. Jared Goff had a pretty good defense, a pretty good running game. You know, he had some pieces there to work with, where Stafford, I don't think he had the same pieces as the LA Rams. I'm sorry. That's apples and oranges to me. And I don't think the quarterback is the win and loss column. I think it's a team sport. And I think that the team surrounding both quarterbacks were very different.
Yeah.
So to say, he's accomplished, so he could do that over here. No, I don't agree with that at all.
QB wins is not a stat, you know what I'm saying? QB wins it's a team. I mean, but of course, I mean, it's the glorified position in the NFL. So they're going to get the blame when it's bad, and they're going to get the glory when it's good. Just like the head coach.
Kurt's right on that. Absolutely. Yeah. So we got the question of the day. The question of the day is, what are your here we go. Here we go with 100 comments I got to answer. What are your feelings on Jared Goff? Just a bridge quarterback, could be a franchise quarterback, absolute dumpster fire. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I have just opened the can of worms.
You're gonna be doing this until about 4 a.m.
Yeah, well, I usually do.
Anyways, that's a big question.
So you ain't sleeping tonight.
Probably not. But okay, we come to my favorite part of the show, the dessert with Curt.
All right, so Jim brought up a good topic yesterday. In the last couple of days, he's talking about offensive guard that is a free agent, Trey Turner. Could he be the fit for the Detroit Lions? Now, Eric Fisher just signed a veteran minimum deal to join the Indianapolis Colts. Could we get that in Detroit with Trey Turner? Trey Turner says he's just looking for a $2 to $3 million 1-year deal to play next season. So, does Anthony Lynn bring in one of his favorite offensive linemen from the LA Chargers? Hey, Mike Disner, make it happen, baby.
Yeah, make it happen.
I think that adds some depth for a cheap price for an offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? Put a lot of that cat into a signing bonus, and you know what I'm saying, you can make it where he's making a $1.5 million in his base salary, and you make that thing happen. So there are a lot of players out there that's still out there, but adding a piece like Trey Turner could be the difference for our offensive line and just adding some depth.
Right. I agree, because Vitae really has not shown us that he can stay healthy. That foot injury plagued him the entire year for me. And if there's a no lose here, because if he beats out and returns to his Pro Bowl form, he had 5 Pro Bowls. So I'm like, if he returns to that form, look at that offensive line. Oh my God. If he doesn't, he's a really good backup player. You plug and play, and the offensive line doesn't lose anything. I don't see a downside here. So I say, Disner and Holmes, go get him.
From the Disney line.
All right, final thoughts for today is really appreciate my guys here, Curt Steele and Mike Jones. They put in so much work. You don't even know, man. So much study, so much work, and just appreciate the fact that our takes here aren't just, whatever we think. There is research and a lot of stuff that's done, and there's a lot of behind the scenes things that people don't see. So my hat's off to both Curt Steele and Coach Mike Jones.
Yeah, my final thanks, Jim. Thank you. My final take is I am so super excited. Why am I super excited? Because tonight I'm one of the fans chosen to be on a Zoom call with who? Brad Holmes.
Oh,
wow. And a select few other staff members. So, man, like, I don't even think I can concentrate at work. Like, for real. Like, I got to be working at 8 o'clock. I don't think I'm going to be all there. My mind is on that Zoom call. Like, as soon as I woke up, I was like, Zoom call? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm excited to have that experience. And I definitely will not disappoint with the things that I have to say, and I'm just open to listening to what Brad Holmes has to say as well. So,
all right, my final thoughts for this show is I want to say thank you to our audience. You guys are loyal. You guys show up all the time, leaving comments, always in the chat, doing the premiere, show up for the live streams. You guys are what make us go. Our audience is growing organically. And here's a shout out across the bow. If you're paying for likes and you're paying for views and you're paying for subscribers, stop it. Stop it. Because guess what? It's going to stand out like a sore thumb. And when the rubber meets the road, it's not going to be what you paid for. Because if you're having to pay for likes, subscriptions, and views, you're not growing your channel organically and you don't have a true audience for your show. So you know who you are. I ain't going to say your name, but you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Keep that $1.50 in your pocket from now on and grow your audience organically. You know, just be real. Because if your fans, your real recognize real, and if you don't have true fans of your show, the other ones you're never gonna grow it that way. So just be who you are, and the people will come. This is how you roll. So that is my final thoughts for today's show. Hey, I'm have so much fun doing this program with my fellas over here, Mike and Jim. And then, when we have Fridays, we bring in our special guest, special member of the program, Rachel Marie Sports, and whoever else just wants to join us. So that's coming up here in the next couple of days. So, stay tuned for that. It's Tuesday. It is Taco Tuesday. It is Two-Piece Tuesday. However you get down, just enjoy your lunch today and enjoy hanging out with your boys right here for Detroit Lions Talk right here, presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl. And we're also presented by Belly Up Sports. So go over to bellyupsports.com and check out the content over there. You can look at this show right over on their website as well. And you can catch a bunch of different podcasts and some great articles written by some talented individuals over there on bellyupsports.com. And go down to fanatics.com. The link is in the bio. Get you one of those jackets like that was in the upcoming Venom movie. So it's out there, baby. And join their My Fan Cash Rewards program. You can earn yourself some great Lions gear doing it that way. You're going to buy it already, so you might as well help out your boys because that help us grow the content on this channel. So it is Tuesday. Your belly's full. You didn't enjoy some lunchtime Detroit Lions talk. Go back and grind it out for the rest of the day, because whatever you do in life, you know what you got to do. You got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my fellas, Mike and Jim, this is Curt Steele, and I will holler at you real soon.